The following program is the work of the broadcast students at the British Columbia Institute of Technology. BCIT Magazine features news stories from around the Lower Mainland which were produced over the last week. Responsibility for the content of the show rests completely with the students and their instructors.
Coming up on BCIT Magazine, parents honor their children's memory. A journey for justice. And swimmers say goodbye to a beloved gathering place. Hello and welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Emma Albert, and here are this week's top news stories. Health officials say 6 people a day are dying due to toxic drugs. Victims' families are demanding the government approve a safe supply. Reporter Braden Ursel talks with protesters about honoring their children.
She didn't want to die. She was trying to stay alive. She's trying to find help.
Renee Bedard died in January of 2020 from toxic drugs. Her family and many others who have lost loved ones in the ongoing drug crisis gathered outside the office of BC Health Minister Adrian Dix.
I want to see an immediate and urgent response so that safe drugs are made available to everyone that uses drugs.
The BC Coroner's Service recently released their annual statistics on deaths due to toxic drugs. That number for 2021 was a record-breaking 2,224 people.
We are well into our 6th year, and in that time, the number of people who have died on an annual basis is more than quadrupled. Unfortunately, what we're seeing is those deaths continuing to increase, and with no real end in sight.
Renee's father, Stuart Bedard, wants to change the way people perceive those who use drugs.
To do more, end the stigma, and help these people just like other people get help in the health system.
British Columbia's Minister of Mental Health and Addictions, Sheila Malcolmson, says BC is the first province in Canada to apply for decriminalization and implement a prescribed safe drug supply. Since 2020, more than 12,000 people who use drugs have been prescribed a safe drug supply.
We really think it's too late for you to step up. I think it's time for you to step down, get somebody in place that can actually do the job.
And it has to happen today, tomorrow, immediately, because today as we stand here, 6 more people are dying.
Moms Stop the Harm isn't just active in BC, they're rising up across the country, with protests scheduled in Calgary and Edmonton on February 23rd. I'm Braden Ursel in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
Hundreds of people came to downtown Vancouver on Valentine's Day. They held a march to honor and remember missing and murdered Indigenous women. I went along to learn about the healing power of community.
When is the war on Indigenous women going to stop?
Photos of missing women are displayed everywhere as dozens of people gather for the Women's Memorial March.
We would like to send our deepest condolences to the families and friends of the murdered and missing women.
It's held every year on Valentine's Day in memory of the women who went missing or were murdered on the downtown east side.
It's been 30 years we've been pounding this street here, and every day across Canada, across this occupied land they call Canada, there's women dying, there's women going missing.
During the march, participants were seen tearing down the controversial Gassy Jack statue on Water Street. The statue has been seen negatively by Indigenous communities due to Gassy Jack's marriage to a 12-year-old Squamish girl. Both the city of Vancouver and the Squamish Nation had agreed on removal of the statue and were concerned with safety regarding these actions at the march.
We're human. We're not savages. We didn't steal your land. We didn't exploit you. You exploited and murdered us.
Event coordinators believe the lack of housing and support is a factor in the amount of women going missing.
We've lost about maybe 50 to 100 women from the last year.
What I want out of this is to let the families know that they're not alone, that we are all here to hold them up. And that's what we do as First Nations people. We all stand beside each other. And it's important to me because I have family members that have went missing, and I'm teaching the children that they need to participate in events like this.
What organizers want most is for others to start noticing these issues too. Emma Albert in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
The community of New Westminster has been home to a very important swimming center for decades, but the time has come for a new beginning. As reporter James Parisi found out, lots of locals came to bid farewell to a popular pool.
After nearly 50 years of service, the Canada Games pool in New Westminster is closing its doors. Built in 1973 to host the Canada Summer Games, the facility became a hub for physical activity and good memories in the community.
Being one of the largest indoor aquatic facilities constructed in the region back in the 1970s, it was a sense of pride to local residents. It was a hub of activity for members of the public from throughout the region. The pool has also become a place of many firsts for people. The first time learning to swim, the first time jumping off the diving board, the first time going off BC's largest indoor water slide. And so those sorts of memories bring people together. And over the pool's almost 50-year history, there are literally thousands and thousands of stories to that effect.
Lots of emotions were on display through this final walkthrough. The smiles were evidence of just how much the pool meant to locals of all ages.
I think it's a really good idea. It was a great way for them to just allow people to say goodbye for something that's been really meaningful in their lives.
I know for me personally over the years, just you meet a bunch of great people and friendships and memories that will last a lifetime. And hopefully everyone will come back and make new memories from in the new building.
The facility was supposed to stay open until August 2023, but a major leak and flooding damage set the stage for this early goodbye.
As locals say goodbye to Canada Games pool, they look forward to Thomas Out Aquatic Centre opening nearby in August 2023. For BCIT Magazine in New Westminster, I'm James Parisi.
We're joined now by reporter James Parisi. James, how many people attended the event?
According to Director of Parks and Recreation Dean Gibson, over 750 people signed up to come for the walkthrough today. Emotion was really on display, and you could tell how much people love this place. Back to you.
Thanks, James. Coming up after the break, schools are struggling to find teachers. And a unique way to find your forever someone.
Hi, and welcome to Community Calendar. I'm Callie McTavish. We've got some great family day events for you, so let's get into it. Fan of comic books? Then put on your superhero costume and head on down to the PNE for the Toys and Comic Book Festival. Over 200 vendors, toy traders, and so much more. Got him. Looking for Nemo? Then head down to the Vancouver Aquarium this Family Day long weekend. Children are free when accompanied by an adult, and there are over 31 exhibits to explore. Looking for an event that's out of this world? Then head on down to the McMillan Space Center for their Black Holes Family Night. See the night sky like you've never seen it before in their Planetarium Star Theater. That's it for Community Calendar. My name is Callie McTavish. Have a great weekend.
Welcome back to BCIT Magazine. Students around BC may be attending classes that are missing a teacher. That's because of a chronic shortage of instructors for elementary and high schools. Reporter Aiden Sarah explains what the math problem is.
16-year-old Nathan Townsend is a high school student in Maple Ridge. He likes to learn, preferably with the help of his teachers.
Well, yesterday my teacher wasn't here, so we were supposed to get a sub, but they never came. So we were just in the class. We didn't do a whole lot.
BC has been experiencing a shortage of school teachers for a long time, with it worsening in the past 5 years. But now, the situation has become more bleak and the pandemic has made it worse. Retired teachers had previously stepped up to substitute teach, called TTOCing, but that isn't the case anymore.
And then when the pandemic hit, they were like, I'm not doing that.
The shortage has resulted in failure to fill instances throughout different school districts.
I can tell you that typically at a larger school, those failures to fill are happening on a daily basis every single day. At an elementary school, you're getting failures to fill that are probably occurring on an incident rate of, I'm going to say, 2 to 4 times a week.
Hall says that students have the potential to be seriously affected.
The stability in the classroom is really important, and it's probably the most important for our most vulnerable kids.
Both officials say many things have to improve, including increasing wages to attract more teachers to the field. Townsend says that it is in all students' best interests that the teacher shortage be remedied.
Normally they're pretty good on getting a sub to fill in, but yeah, when it does happen where we don't get one, it's just awful. Like, it's just bad. We just don't do anything.
Aiden Sarah in Maple Ridge for BCIT Magazine.
If you want to go to a game or bar this weekend, good news! The BC Health Authority has lifted restrictions on capacity limits for sports events, bars, and restaurants. Masks and COVID-19 vaccine cards will still be required. Valentine's Day has come and gone. For many, it was a day for love and sweets. But as reporter Joe Paris finds out, some people spent the time learning how to embrace nature.
Traditionally, Valentine's Day is a celebration of romantic love. Roses, chocolates, maybe a fancy dinner for two. But for those who are single, V-Day can be tough. The Hallmark holiday has a way of rubbing loneliness in your face. So what's a single person to do to keep the V-Day blues at bay?
Yeah. Are you here for the talk?
No, but I just was so into what this sign says.
Oh, Save Old Growth. It's a civil disobedience campaign to protect old growth forests.
How about attending the Save Old Growth Singles Night, which promised an opportunity for action, and maybe even love? Save Old Growth is currently recruiting new participants so they can resume their blockade of the Trans-Canada Highway at strategic points. Their goal is to force the provincial government to permanently stop all old growth logging. Back at the United Church, although turnout was a little underwhelming, the message was clear.
Like, love in the present context means entering into resistance, literally. And it's not easy. It's like very difficult. It's messy, and it's not pretty. Like, it's when we block people on the highway, we're showing love to them. It's tough love.
And in the end, organizers believe you can find love on the picket line.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it seems like every other person I meet here is super attractive in their own way, and just the drive that it takes to be a part of this movement, and the interest in being able to, and the empathy that everyone seems to exude is just so contagious. And I honestly, couldn't think of a better place to find a potential romantic partner.
Joe Paris in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
If you have any questions regarding the show, you can contact us at bcit-broadcast.com or bcitnews.com. And that's our show for today. I'm Emma Albert. Thank you for joining us on BCIT Magazine. Have a great long weekend.